Welcome to the 2019 FIA European Rally Championship. This is the 5th and the 7th running of Rally di Roma Capitale, an Italian tarmac test which starts the second half of the ERC season. And we're hitting all corners of the continent in 2019, and right now it's the midsummer heat of Rome that hosts Europe's finest rally competitors. The Italian capital on the west side of the peninsula is a spectacular and historic backdrop, with the stages set inland to the east of the city. Who will be victorious here in the heat of the ancient empire? But before we get stuck into this, let's review what's happened so far. At the midpoint of the season, we've seen 4 different winners from 4 different rallies. The action this year has been brutal and dramatic as ever on the ERC. Whatever the surface, ERC Graduates guarantees it maximum attack. Round 1, it was a surprise win in the Azores for Lukas Habai after Lukanuk crashed out. And then on round 2 of the championship, in May, the crews tackled the classic asphalt stages of the beautiful volcanic island in Canaries. Pepe Lopez took the win there, but then in Liepāja, young Oliver Solberg on his ERC debut took his win, and an incredible drive from the 17-year-old. But then Poland. Last time out, it was a rough, tough rally, saw Alexei Lukanuk finally take his first win of the ERC season this year. Habai is still out on top, leading the championship from the start with 94 points. Lukanuk now catapulted up to 2nd overall. Ingram slips to 3rd. As the strong field gathers here in the Eternal City, all eyes are on the championship leader, Lukas Habai.
So far, it's been very good. We had pretty good pace in every rally so far. So it's exactly mid-season point, and this rally I know quite well as well because this is our 3rd time here.
It's a cautious approach because with a new car, with new tires, we don't have enough kilometers behind, so it's exciting. Last year we expected a lot of threat from Italians. They were not so competitive. This time I believe they should be a bit faster.
Look at the setting. We're in the centre of Rome. It's my opinion, it's the best city in the world, and we're going rallying. Day 1's going to be really difficult. There's definitely going to be a lot of drama, so we need to get through that day.
The event also sees 2 drivers taking their prize drive for winning their junior class championship last year, Martin Sex and Nikolai Gryzin.
I hope we will try to have a fight with the quickest one, but for sure I think Lukanuk and the Italian guys will be really fast.
The local tarmac specialists have amassed in force and should definitely pose a threat to the ERC regulars, not at least 3-time ERC champion Luca Rossetti.
This rally will be really demanding because it's my first time in here. Even if I have more than 250 rallies all over in Europe and in Italy, this I have never been here, so it will be hard.
Compatriot and previous Rally di Roma winner Simone Campidelli has the new special privilege of giving the brand new M Sport Ford Fiesta R5 Evolution its debut.
So for me, it's such an honor to bring the new Fiesta to IRC debut. I had such a good memories from the past where we won on 2017, but I think that now it should be another story, and it's a tough challenge, but we are ready.
Well, Rome is famous for its glamour and fashion. The Dolce Vita awaits those lucky enough to succeed here. The rich and famous, the glamorous, sitting side by side. And with a love of motorsport, let's get the rally underway here in Rome. And as always, the historic City Town Hall. Our drivers assembled in the chamber to choose their starting position for the first day of the rally. Gryzin was fastest in the qualifying stage, chose to go 5th on the road on the opening morning. Andrea Crunola, second fastest in the qualifying, was the Italian driver who chose to go 3rd position. Łukasz Habaj, championship leader, decided to go 7th on the road. And then the next stop was down to the stunning Castle St. Angelo, where the opening ceremony took place on Friday evening. What a stunning backdrop to the start of the rally. There was also a hero's welcome for our ERC gladiators in Rome, with the championship rivals ready to do battle. And after the start ramp, it was on to something pretty special on the ERC, the Rome Street Parade. A tour of the sights, sounds and excitement and some of the historic architecture around the streets of Rome. Guided carefully by the local police, but a chance to show off here and there a little bit. How often do our ERC drivers get to do this in the centre of Rome? So with that out of the way, it was on to Saturday's action. Takes place outside the city walls in the wild roads to the east of the capital, 2 loops around the service park and the spa town of Fuji. Classic cloverleaf format, coming back to service, doing it all again in the afternoon as usual. And here he is. It's a flying start for the returning Russian, making the most of his prize drive in the Skoda Fabia R5. He wins in stage 1. He was fastest in the qualifying stage as well, but then big crash for Gryzin. Locks up the brakes and into the weeds. That was the shortest prize drive in ERC history. The crew are okay, but the roll cage of the car is too damaged to continue. A sad end to Gryzin's attack in Rome.
We were pushing all stages, and sure we made some mistakes on the first part, and here's before the finish some couple of corners. Just tried to brake, and I don't know, maybe it's some dust on the road, because I feel like all wheels blocked. Rotate the car a little bit and hit the guard wall, and after hit the tree, so we damaged the roll cage in the back side. So for tomorrow we can't continue.
Nikolai Gryzin was battling with Chris Ingram in the under-28 class last season. But Ingram, a regular on the ERC this year, is struggling with fading brakes and drops 40 seconds in stage 1. Never really gets to grips for the rest of the loop. But punctures were a problem here this weekend as well. Rough conditions were hard on the tyres, and many crews experienced those tyres deflating in the stages. And one hairpin on stage 2 proved to be very tricky, catching out Toshi Arai, Łukasz Habaj, and also Wojciech Staff. Everyone's struggling in the Italian countryside. Not doing donuts for fun here for Staff. Points the car in the right direction and heads off. Championship leader struggling with a little bit this morning. The setup of the car not so good. Bit lively in the back end of Habaj's Fabia R5. Has the spin in the stage here, slows him down, and at the end of the loop he is 5th overall. Reigning ERC champion Alexei Lukanuk has a new car this season. He's getting to grips with it. Battling hard in the Fiesta last year. It saw him seal the 2018 championship. Lukanuk a little bit off the pace.
Looks like here.
Luca Rossetti, a rallying legend and 3-time ERC champion in 2008, 2010 and 2011. A little bit off the pace in stage 1, but second quickest in stage 2 and 3.
okay. In the first stage we struggled a lot. It was really demanding for us for the first time there. Jumping and all the stuff was really difficult.
Gian Domenico Basso, Rossetti's main rival, was ERC champion in 2006 and 2009. These Italians know these roads well. He finished Rally di Roma in second place overall last year, and his experience here is serving him well.
Di 4,70, no di 2,70.
Andrea Crunola is a graduate from the ERC Juniors, and this is his first appearance in the ERC in a Skoda Fabia R5. Not bad morning for him.
First one was not so easy because for everyone, because it's technical stage, the most difficult one of the rally. This one, I know the stage very well from the past season, so I take it. I mean, I try to push. So my feeling is that the time could be okay, but of course the other one are very fast. So we must wait, and we will see where we are.
3 stages down out of 16 here in Rome this weekend, and Crunola is out on top. Bosso is second, Rossetti third. It's an Italian 1-2-3 locking out the podium if we wrapped up the rally at the moment. But back down to the service park for the midpoint service of the day. Back in Fuji to make some repairs and setup changes before the afternoon's action. And a chance for you to do the same. Join us after the break as Rally di Roma Capitale round 5 of the ERC continues. Welcome back to the ancient streets of Rome. We are in the European Rally Championship, now sets foot for a fast and furious tarmac rally for every driver. And now on to ERC2 class for the production vehicles, including the 3 Fiat Abarth 124 cars, with Italian driver Zelindo Meligari making his debut here in Rome.
Cambio non indifferente dalla Mitsubishi.
It's a big change from the Mitsubishi, but we try to do our best. We are second now, and it would be important to get the car on the podium. Mashari Al-Ferrari from Kuwait, driving the Mitsubishi, the 2 times Middle Eastern ERC Rally Champion 2 winner. The Kuwaiti driver was competing on his first ever tarmac rally here, had brake problems in the morning loop, but still had valuable time in the car to learn, ending his class 4th overall. The new Abarth Rally Cup is in Rome, and Zelindo is learning the car all the time. It's his co-driver's 50th birthday today, and put a solid run for them through there. Had a spin in stage number 4 and problems with the gearbox in stage number 5, but losing further time. Finished second overall, but Andrea Uchita was out in front. A class of his own all day. He won every stage in the morning loop and led by over 2 minutes at the end of the day. He won stage 4 and 5 in the afternoon, stretching his lead by nearly 4 minutes. But mechanical problems in the final stage saw him retire for the day. As for Darius Polonsky, he started his racing career as a circuit racer, so is more at home on tarmac than most. He ended the morning loop second overall behind Uchita, but suffered problems with the turbo boost and a fuel leak in the afternoon. But he inherited the lead after Uchita retired, leading the ERC2 class and the Abarth Rally Cup at the end of day number 1. In ERC3, the class for 2-wheel drive cars, there was a strong field assembled in Rome, including the junior drivers competing to win 2 rallies behind the wheel of an R5 car next season. And Pedro Artunes, it was a tough start for the rally for many of them. But it was a tough start to the rally for many drivers, amongst them Pedro Artunes. In the first full season in ERC3 category, he crashed on the first stage of the event and was forced to retire after hitting a rock and breaking his suspension. Currently second in the ERC ladies standings, Katie Munnings from the UK also had a difficult morning. Her brakes were overheating in the first stage and catching fire, eventually forcing her to retire at the side of the road despite roadside repairs with her and Veronica Elgin, who was co-driving for Katie. Happy to be back on tarmac after 2 difficult gravel rally rounds. It's Gregor Munster. He had a puncture in stage number 1, ended up the morning loop in 2nd overall in ERC 3, and in the afternoon it got worse. He broke his steering in stage 5 and had to retire. Sindre Furuseth, the Norwegian driver, started his life karting, and so is at home on the sealed surface here in Rome. Fastest in stage 1 and 3 to lead the morning loop by over 28 seconds in the Santalock prepared car. As for Efra and Lorena, the Spanish driver had a massive crash in Poland last time out, but in a new car. He's second in the ERC standings and helped by winning a round 1 in the Canary Islands. He finished the morning loop in 7th after a puncture in the first stage. He's 3rd fastest on every stage of the afternoon. As for Eric Sykes, only started rallying last year in 2018, and it's his first time in Rome and is approaching the rally with a little bit of caution. But he had a great afternoon with 2 stage wins. After the other car's problems, he finished 2nd overall at the end of the day. Ken Thorne driving the identical equipment. This is the new Fiesta R2. Leading the category was Ken at the end of the day. The Estonian was only on his 2nd tarmac rally.
Now we have spare and we enjoy a lot and improve our driving style. So I hope it's go better and better.
Nice one, Ken. Let's have a look then at what awaits the crews for the afternoon's loop. It's the same 3 stages as the morning loop, repeated, a total of 109 competitive kilometres throughout the whole day. So 4, 5 and 6 coming up next. Temperatures up to around about 34 degrees Celsius today with no wind. Brazilian driver and ERC regular Paulo Nobre is back on the sealed surface here in Rome, but small mistake leaves his boot open on the first stage after the midpoint service. And Emma Falcon, her 2nd start in the ERC1 Juniors, first competing in Canary Islands at the start of the year, leading the ladies trophy, an impressive 10th overall. Lars Cemento, the Swedish businessman, is back, and this time behind the wheel of a new Hyundai i20 R5, finishes inside the top 20 on day 1. And Umberto Scandola, 2-time winner of Rally di Roma. Scandola is trying his R5 Hyundai here for the first time. Puncture and lost 3 minutes in stage 6. As for championship leader Lukasz Habaj, on the final stage of the day, made a small mistake. Has a spin. Dropping time. Habaj manages to point the car in the right direction, but hemorrhaging time in the stage. And then round the next corner, immediately after, all goes wrong for him. Slides again, concrete right into the front of the radiator cooling pack on the front of his car. His team were up till 3 in the morning to fix that, to get him back on the road for day 2. Andrea Crinola next up. Stopped in stage 4 to change a puncture, losing a lot of time and dropping him out of the rally lead. He dropped from 1st place to 7th at the end of the day, and a few mistakes, changing the puncture here in the stage, dropping over 2 minutes. And Albert von Thurnataxis, a resident of Rome. He lives not too far from the Vatican. He should be enjoying his home event here, but had to stop in stage 4. His car caught fire. and Albert was out of the rally. The crew were okay and the car was saved. Luca Rossetti, the 3 times ERC champion, started the afternoon loop in 3rd place overall, but he broke a wheel, sending him off the road and again into the bushes.
Abbiamo forato su un sasso all'interno dove c'era il sì.
Simone Campidelli had the morning loop, but proved a little bit tricky for him in the debut of the new Ford Fiesta. It's his first event this car has been seen on the ERC. It's almost box fresh, prepared by the M Sport team in Cumbria in the UK.
99,8.
And despite a puncture in stage number 4 and struggling with his brakes towards the end of the afternoon, it was a much better afternoon for the reigning ERC champion. Ends the day in 2nd position in the rally, 36.3 seconds behind the rally leader. But with problems for Łukasz Habaj, Lukanuk looks on course to take the lead of the championship for the first time this season.
Yeah, reasonable time. No pushing because we have 0 spares.
Giandomenico Basso, the 2-time ERC champion, inherited the rally and the lead of it from stage 4. And with a stage win, a very strong day finds him in the battle for the rally win with Lukanuk, just like last year, where he came 2nd in this event. There have been some retirements. Rossetti went out, Cronola had a puncture. We need to keep our concentration and not overdrive. Now we have a little advantage, but we have to drive carefully and not lose too much time. So after 6 stages and day 1, the leaderboard looks like this. Basso out in front, Lukanuk behind, Campidelli in 3rd position overall. Italian 1 and 3, a Russian in the middle. Ingram is 6th overall. Martin Sex, for his first tarmac rally in an R5 car, is in 8th. So on the day 50 years ago, Apollo 11 landed on the moon. And this is our tribute to that historic moment in history.
Go, guys, go, control, go, Telcom, go, GNC, go, Ecom, go, Surgeon, go, Capcom, we're go for landing. Altitude 4200, you're go for landing, over.
The beautiful countryside to the southeast of Rome is the playground this weekend, and the Italian midsummer heat is seen from our helicopter. Perfect for tourists, but certainly a challenge for tyres, brakes and crews down there on the ground. Day 2 looks like this. Very different to day 1, more tricky and more technical, with plenty of up and downhill sections through the villages over the mountain terrain. And the first stage on Sunday morning is a short and testing early wake-up call for the drivers. A brand new stage for 2019, just over 7 kilometres in length. How will they get on a Sunday morning? A couple of espresso coffees, strap yourself in. And first on the road, Scandola is opening the road for leg number 2. The 2013 Italian rally champion is driving the new Hyundai i20 R5 here. He's driving it for the first time on tarmac. He won Rally di Roma Capitale in 2015 and 16 and sits in 9th position overall at the end of the morning loop. As for Chris Ingram, the British driver won the ERC3 Junior title in 2017, is contending to win the ERC1 Junior title this year, as well as battling for the overlead of the championship but overdriving the car today. Ingram not happy with himself, putting too much pressure on him this season. He's battling for 6th position with Norbert Herzig. Very disappointing.
No, it was quite comfortable. I had a nice rhythm, but I just overheated the rears a little bit too much and frustrating. It was a mega run, but 2 spins, just not good.
Avoiding spins and employing a bit of Tokyo drift. The son of World Rally legend Toshi Arai is driving a Manfred Stoll car this weekend. His usual co-driver Ilka Miner is not available for Rome, so he's got a new co-driver, Jürgen Herlig, on the pace notes here. As for Philip Mares, it's nearly a year since the Czech driver had his R5 debut at the ERC in Zlin last season, but taking a careful approach through the morning, he's 4th position overall. 1 minute 27 seconds off the pace of the lead. On board here in Rally Rome, great to see Simone Campidelli driving this new Fiesta R5. Former winner of this event. It's the first time that we've seen this brand new evolution of the Fiesta on the ERC. And this Italian driver is hungry for the home win and also to win for M Sport this weekend. He takes a stage win on stage 7, finishes the loop in 3rd position, 17 seconds behind Lukanuk.
To be honest, where we have a flat part and downhill, we can stay on the battle. But on the uphill, no, not yet. I like so much these stages. I expected that we could win, but okay. At the moment, it's like this.
With a big gap to make up after yesterday's puncture, Crinola is on a big push. Wins 3 out of the 4 stages this morning and moves up the leaderboard from 5th position. He wins 3 out of 4 stages this morning and moves up the leaderboard to 5th position from 10th and is now only 15 seconds off the pace of Mares.
Yeah, I'm trying to push. This stage, the rhythm was quite okay. I mean, I was too sideways, so for sure I lost some speed, but okay, we'll see the time of the others.
And Alexei Lukanuk is unhappy with his bad setup, but is improving during the loop. With Habai's retirement on leg 1, the points scoring system puts Lukanuk closer to the championship lead. And the stage times are pretty close to the Italian drivers, and he's eating into Basso's lead with every kilometre under the Citroen's wheels. Lukanuk remains 2nd overall, 30 seconds behind Basso at the end of the loop.
Налево 1 длинный по внешке, тире 2 плюс 70. Правый 2 плюс, чуть длинный 80. Левый 2 длинный.
Just incredible stuff. It's great to watch Alexei wrestle the car through these twisty stages, lacing it round the hot tarmac. He's hunting down this man. Giandomenico Basso lost some time with a stall in a hairpin in stage number 12. Nevertheless, the Italian rally legend maintains a healthy leader here. Basso finishes the morning loop just 30 seconds up on Lukanuk's 2nd place. The 2006 and 2009 ERC champion wants to add a win here this season to one of his 18 ERC rally wins during his career. Basso is a legend. Let's hear what he has to say.
Tutto ok.
All okay. We pushed enough on the first stage. In the second one, we lost a little bit of time. We did good enough time to manage the race. We're trying not to take any risks. So after 10 stages out of 16 this weekend, Basso is still out on top by 30.3 seconds. Simone Capitale is in third overall. Philip Maris is in fourth. So we've got a whole bunch of Italians in the top 10. Anyway, join us after the break for round 5 of the championship and takes a dramatic turn here in Italy. Rally di Roma Capitale 2019 continues in the stunning Italian countryside. Now let's take a quick look at the ERC2 class, the production car spec. And with 3 Fiat R-Baths, all to delight petrol heads this weekend in ERC2. It's a good one in ERC2. Tight battles at the top. Mashiri Al-Thawari from Kuwait, on his first ever tarmac rally, gained valuable experience this weekend, finishing 4th in ERC2. As for Andrea Nucita, driving the R-Bath 124, the rear-wheel drive pocket rocket, he lost the lead when he retired on day number 1, but fought back. And winning 13 of the 14 stages overall in the event, he made a mistake on the Super Special. Meant that he had to settle for 3rd overall in the rally. Zelindo Meligari switching from the Mitsubishi that he normally drives to the R-Bath for this event on his home soil. He was under a lot of pressure from Nucita, but benefited from the mistake to finish 2nd overall. But it was Darius Polonsky who had his own problems on day 1, but inherited the lead when Nucita retired. Took the win in ERC2 and also for the R-Bath Rally Cup, and a cracking prize of €12,000 for bringing it home.
After the problem of Andrea, we just definitely the fastest out of Abarth. We came on the 1st place, so we already see the opportunity to win the class, and we had quite a good run today.
Up next then, the ERC3 category. 2-wheel drive cars featuring the ERC3 juniors within that class. All the stars of the future making here. And Sindra Furuseth, he doesn't hang around this one. It was a drama-filled first day for Furuseth, the ERC Junior Championship leader. Was leading on Saturday by nearly 40 seconds, but crashed in the final stage of the day. Saw him retire from the event. Gregoire Munster was 2nd behind Furuseth, but the Belgian clipped a roundabout on stage number 5. Damage sustained to the car proved that he would also have to retire. Suspension damage on the front right there. He restarted on day 2, but finished 7th overall. Roman Schredt, the German driver, was up to 5th despite technical problems on day 1, but his bad luck continued with engine failure in stage 13, and he had to retire. Disappointing weekend for the R-Bath drivers. Efran Lorena was held back by a puncture on Saturday, but still made it up to 3rd position overall. He had a clean run on Sunday, taking the final podium position. As for Eric Seiss, was fast straight out of the blocks on the final day. He was in 3rd position before the final Super Special stage, but gained a position thanks to a mistake by the competition. Driving the Renault Clio is Frenchman Florian Bernardi. A mistake came from Florian Bernardi on the final stage. He staged an incredible comeback though on Sunday, winning the first 8 stages to sit in 2nd. but all came undone on the penultimate stage when he dropped over a minute in time. But it was left wide open then for Ken Thorne from Estonia, who was leading after the morning loop. He nearly threw it all away despite hitting a wall and breaking a suspension on stage number 10, but managed to get the car back to service. The team repaired it and he carried on, managed to fix his car and claimed his third win from just 3 rallies in the ERC. Nice work, Ken.
It's been quite tough. Our almost second rally in tarmac, so yeah, we are happy our pace.
Right, we'll be back in a minute for more ERC action. So the afternoon continues, leg number 2, wrapping up with the final group of stages. The same mountain stages around Ostia, super special stage there at the end of the day. But before we get stuck into the big runners at the top, let's have a look at some of the ERC 1 contenders here. And Wojciech Stapp from the Czech Republic, a really experienced driver, taking his brand new car here, enjoying that. Umberto Scandolo, solid weekend for him as well in the Hyundai i20 R5, first time for him on asphalt. Nicholas Meyer-Meinhof from Austria switched from circuit racing to rallying just 4 years ago, made good progress in Rome, as did Tibor Erdi, the ERC2 junior champion last year and in 2017, continues to improve in his own car here. Before the afternoon loop, shockwaves rippled through the service park in Fuji. Alexei Lukanuk received a 1-minute penalty from their Santa Lock team. A technical infringement said that the wheelbase was deemed to be outside the homologated parameters by a few millimeters, meaning that they received a 1-minute penalty for that. We've just found out that we have a 1-minute penalty. We questioned the decision, why we won't hide that. The team made an error. Even if the engineers don't agree, the penalty is because of our mistake, nonetheless. It's a shame because it's not Lukanuk's fault. He's a great rally. He worked really hard with the car and making improvements and getting the tyres to work, and big thanks to him. It's a real shame. What can I say? It's our fault. He is very angry with us. We tried to calm him down. He has 3 seconds behind Mares, and we will see if we can make that up. It's hard to manage a driver once he puts a helmet on. And also the Italian rally leader sets off to do battle for the final push to the podium, looking to seal his 19th ERC victory on the championship. 4-time Hungarian champion switched to the polo this year. Norbert Herzig had a strong season in 2018 and placed 4th overall this year in Canaries. Saw him finish 7th here in Rome this year. Chris Ingram struggled all weekend, beating himself up for overdriving the car and needing to relax a little bit more. Mathematically, he could have clinched the 2019 ERC1 junior title here, but finished 6th overall and 2nd in his class. That fight will continue to the next round, which is where Filip Mares is on home soil in the Czech Republic. The young Czech driver drove very maturely this weekend and he beaten Chris Ingram, class winner for the 2nd consecutive event, and keeps himself in the title fight for the ERC1 Juniors in 2019. Arguably a star of Rally di Roma Capitale in 2019, with 12 out of 16 stage wins, Granola is very impressive and finishes 3rd overall, making it Italian podium here. He got a puncture on leg 1 that cost him what could have been a rally win.
Maximum attack since the puncture yesterday, and I'm happy about my performance of the weekend because we won several stages.
A weekend plagued with problems for the Russian rocket. He finishes 4th after being beaten by Granola on the final step of the podium. On the timesheets, without a penalty, his pace would have been good enough for the rally win, But of course his rivals would have backed off or tried a little bit harder. It's impossible to tell.
No, actually we enjoy driving, enjoy stages. Organization is you know what, but yeah, from my side, from here, from the cockpit, we did all we could and tried to improve, and it seems we gained some speed. So and I don't care about everything else.
A great shakedown for the brand new Ford Fiesta R5. Capitale brings it to the podium on its ERC debut, second overall for him, and a great result for the Italian ERC wildcard. He kept the pressure on his fellow compatriot right to the finish. Great stuff.
Yeah, Sir Malcolm decided to give us this honor, and we are so glad to do it, because it's a big responsibility, because everyone in the world can see the performance of the Fiesta.
And a moment where Basso nearly threw away the win in unlucky stage number 13, a missed junction, and he lost over 20 seconds. Ultimately, the Italian driver wins his first ERC in 6 years. Despite winning only one stage, stage number 4 on leg 1, the two-time ERC champion drove with experience and consistency. A big celebration for Basso. Winners of Rally di Roma Capitale 2019. So Basso wins, Capitale second, Cronola in third. It's an Italian lockout on the podium this weekend. However, after the streets of Ostia were set ablaze with a real fiesta atmosphere down by the sea, thousands of spectators lining the coastline to watch the final two tests of the event. Burning rubber here in Italy style. But Basso's on top of the podium in the summer sunshine. Wrapping up another classic Rally Roma. But the bad news for Lukanook, not finishing on the podium, is good news for him. He takes the lead of the championship now, 105 points, rapidly accelerating over Łukasz Habaj. But next up, it could all change as we head on to the next round of the season. It's of course the Barham Czech Rally Zlin, the classic sealed surface, as we continue to the Czech Republic next for another classic ERC rally. Thanks for watching Rome. From all of us at the programme, we look forward to seeing you in a few weeks' time in Barham.